of the trees regarding our gender identity and sexuality. When there's no place like home, empty air, an empty establishment. Friends with Dorothy, fighting for your civil rights, out on the cruel streets tonight.
We begin with opening words. Holy and beautiful the custom which brings us together in the presence of that which is most sacred. We come to face our ideals, to remember loved ones no longer with us, to protest for those who suffer discrimination and are hurt or even harmed through ill will or ignorance. And we give thanks for the gifts we receive, for community, and for the love of other people. 3 unseen guests attend: faith, hope, and love. Let all our hearts prepare a space for these guests. And Unitarians begin our service by lighting a candle, and we say, there are times in every life when our light goes out, and often it's the spark from another person that rekindles the light within us. Each of us has cause to be grateful to those who have rekindled the light within us. We light our chalice, symbol of life and love. May its light inspire us and its warmth give us hope. Since TENI had their first service with us, I think it was back about 2006, 2007, there have been many. When was it, Lynda?
2004 when I...
Jeez, 2004. 2004, even longer than I thought it was. There have been many changes in Irish society. Many of them were very positive, are really good. There's still a distance to travel. And there have been setbacks and pushbacks. Tonight we join together at the traditional time in Ireland to remember people who have died. We particularly remember those who have died because of issues of gender identity. But when we remember some of our dead, it brings to mind other families and friends, members who are no longer with us, and especially people who have been helpful and loved us during our lives. So we're going to have candle lightings for them later on. But there's also a picture up there of a rose. And the words underneath it are, and the time came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. For me, the people of the trans community have experienced the pain of being folded tight like a rosebud. And somehow, their community have helped them to blossom, to have the courage just to be ourselves. And that is always the best version of you. Not the one you think the neighbours want. The best version of you is your authentic itself. The greatest tribute we can pay to people who have been injured through gender identity is to have the vision and the courage just to be ourselves. And last year at this time we had somebody from the trans community come and talk to us, and she spoke beautifully about her journey through transition. And she said, just appealing for understanding, She said, if I have the courage to change absolutely everything about my life, surely you can manage to change your mind just a little bit. And I thought that was a wonderful challenge. I'm going to start off by having a reading, just remembering people who have died, and how, no matter how long someone is dead, when we love someone and they have enriched our lives, they're always there. We never lose them completely. It says, they are not dead who leave us the great heritage of remembered joy. They still live in our hearts. They live in the happiness we knew and the dreams we shared. They still breathe in the lingering fragrance wind blown from their favourite flowers. They still smile in the moonlight's silver light and laugh in the sunlight's sparkling glow. They still speak in the echoes of the words we've heard them say again and again. They still move in the rhythm of waving grasses, in the dance of the tossing branches. They are not dead. Their memory is warm in our hearts. It brings comfort to our sorrow. They are not apart from us. They have become part of us. For love is eternal, and those who we love shall be with us throughout all eternity. And it's a lovely way to remember our beloved dead. So we're going to hand over now to people from TENI, and Tara is going to speak.
Hi everybody. If you don't know me, my name is fabulous technology, thank you. Hi everybody, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tara Hewitt, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm currently the interim CEO at TENI, which is why I'm in front of you tonight. I wanted to start by just saying welcome to everybody that's here, to say thanks for the beautiful first words of welcome that we've just heard to start the service, and also to thanks to Kevin for staying late and opening the church tonight so that we can all be here. And I want to give thanks to my team, to Aisling and to Rowan, who are here tonight, to Sam and to Alec, and to everybody that has come together to make sure that this event has happened. And also to Lynda Sheridan, who I know over the years has made this event happen in the first place. I heard going back to 2004, often people tell me that I transitioned a long time ago in 2006, so that's a long time to have a TDOR service running, and it's a credit to everybody that's been involved over the years that we're still here and we're still coming together to mark this event. I also want to reflect on the welcome that we've just heard to talk about before we start talking about some of the reflecting on the sadness and the hate in our society, but to give thanks for the welcome that I've received here in Ireland. This is my first year at a TDOR service in Ireland. I left the UK, and you could say because of rising hate as a trans person in Britain, and I found my community here. I found welcome in the trans community, in the wider LGBTQ+ community, but also in wider society. And I live in Longford. Please don't rib me too much about that later. I get a lot of that at work in terms of where I live. But I found community and safety in the Midlands in Ireland as well. And I think it's important that we give thanks to that, because community is important. When we reflect on those events which are sad and which sadly we're going to hear happen around the world, it's the community that gives us resilience, it's the community that gives us hope. So I think it's important to start an event like that by reflecting on that. For those of you that don't know, TDOR is in its 24th year globally. It started in 1999 in Boston, Massachusetts, to memorize the death of a black trans woman, Rita Hester, who was murdered in Massachusetts. I think it's very poignant that the TDOR focused on the death of a black trans woman, because when we look at the statistics, racism is very much intertwined with the transphobia that we see around the world that sadly leads to the violence that many in our community face. As we come together this year, we remember the 320 at least trans people who have been reported murder over the last year. 94% of those people are trans women or trans feminine presenting. 80% of those trans people were murdered also experienced racism. So really stressing, there's been a big increase this year on the amount of people that have also been murdered, maybe because of racism, or they're also experiencing racism in our society. And I think as I stand here as a white trans woman that has a degree of privilege, it's important that we think about actually where we maybe have some safety, how do we give our voices to those communities that are maybe facing even more violence than we might face just by being trans. Over 75% of those victims around the world were under 25. So people's lives cut out before they even reached their 25th birthday, simply for who they were, simply for living their lives and trying to come to this earth and share that humanity that we heard right at the beginning. More than 70% of those murders have taken place in Latin America, the Caribbean, but we've also seen murders in the US, in Europe and in the UK over that period of time over the last 12 months. And TENI staff actually have had some time in South America this year. We've had staff in Colombia, I was in Brazil and Chile, to work with communities globally around the issues that trans people experience, because we are one global community and it's important that we don't allow those borders to restrict our thinking as we remember people that have faced violence. So there's too many people to remember. I've been to services that would read out 320 names. I'm not going to read out 320 people's names to reflect on, but I think it's important that we do take time to share some of the stories for individuals that have lost their life over the last 12 months because of who they were in different parts of the world. So I pulled out a few names for me to share, and hopefully people can maybe reflect on their stories, or maybe people that you've lost over the last 12 months, people that you knew, or a story that you've heard that has particularly moved you. If I start with the life of Tiffany Banks, who was murdered on the very first day of this year's reporting period in a street shooting in Miami, Florida. She was a black trans woman at the age of 25. As I've said, sadly, a lot of these lives are very young. If I look at the life of Carla Pereira, who was a trans woman aged between 51 and 50, who worked as a beautician, who was violently murdered in her own home in Brazil. Pinky, a trans person working as an artist and performer, who was brutally killed by a gang in India who were paid to murder them. Camden Ryder, a 21-year-old trans man, murdered in Winter Haven in Florida because someone was unhappy with them in an argument, so they decided to take their life away. I think it's important for this next name is that it's a name that's not known. So many people that lose their lives don't even have their name remembered. We don't even know who they were. We're not able to share that name with you tonight. But so this one case, it's not just this one individual, but it's to remember those people whose names we don't know. And this is of a trans person who was sadly found near a safari park in Pakistan. Their hands were tied and they had a noose around their neck, and that's all we know about that individual. How awful that someone lost their life like that, and I'm here sharing we don't even know that person's name. Samantha Campana, who worked in a restaurant in Brazil, and on their lunch break was stabbed to death while walking on the street outside the restaurant. Melissa Nunes, who was 42 years old, a woman who had spent 2 decades as an activist on LGBTQ+ rights and intersex rights in the United States of America. They were deported back to Honduras, and they were murdered in a drive-by shooting very shortly after they were deported. And the indignity to add to that was that the media dead-named that individual after that tragic event. Even in death, many of us face the indignity of our names and our lives not being remembered in the way that we would like to share them with others. And I wanted to finish with a name that probably is very familiar to many of us that are here today, Brianna Gay, who Brianna was tragically murdered, a 16-year-old trans woman who was violently murdered walking through a park close to her home in Warrington. Warrington is a place that I used to work. I worked in the NHS there. I've lived and worked around Warrington for a number of years in my career, and that was very close to my home, and I know many people here in Dublin and across Ireland came together earlier in the year to remember Brianna, as they did across Britain. So whilst these murders are all around the world, and we should not forget those names no matter how far away they are from where we live, also that violence sadly is still close to home. And it's important that we still come together to challenge that hate wherever we see it. As we've remembered those names, I'd now just like us to take a minute's silence to remember those 8 names that I've shared. Anybody that you've lost over the last year that maybe that is particularly close to the issues that we're talking about, or a story that you've heard, or if you don't know any of those, the 320 other people that I wasn't able to share in this talk. So I'm going to put a timer on if we just take a minute to reflect and to think. Well, I bring you back into the room, and it's important today that we reflect on the mournful event that we're here to talk about, but it's important that we gain strength from each other as a community, and with the support of our allies here and elsewhere, gain the resilience we need to continue to work to build a better world for us all to live in. I feel deeply privileged to have a supportive partner and family, and to be together with all of you today with our community and comradeship, and how important we look to protect those here in Ireland that face attack, but also we look to those around the world who need our support, both vocally and through how we influence our political leaders to act to protect trans lives, but particularly black trans lives, wherever they face danger globally. I've now got a few words from Lynda Sheridan, who has organised this event for many years, as we've said, and who's here today this evening, so I hope I do these words justice, Lynda. Dysphoria is not my name or identity. Trans is not my name or identity. These are just terminologies to describe my journey to the woman I am today. A life of pain, struggle, heartache, loss. A journey through hell on earth. But something magnificent kept me going, an obsession to survive against the odds. Good and bad, coiled, laughs and sneers abounded, battered and bruised, a thin edge supported me. People were shocked, some felt betrayed, and some preferred to depart me from their lives, even to this day, rejected by religion, by governments, by society. But those who stood with me were my champions. I owed it to them to survive, to grasp the shores, and slowly but surely my truth arrived. Religion relented, governments relented, media backed away. For none could any more debate my existence in a convincing way. Equality came, respect came, good always wins. Transphobes can thrive as the iron curtain rusts and falls as dust. Our survival is a must. As today we remember our fallen, and we also celebrate our lives. Thank you.
I think my realisation of the reality of transphobia came the year Lynda asked to have this service here, and I was wondering, well, what do I do for it? And I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll Google names of people who have died because of transgender violence and read those. And of course, Google was wonderful. It gave me the list. However, that list was 47 A4 pages of names. I was truly shocked. And I think that's why this service meant so much to me, that we want to make a difference. Our second contributor today is Alec.
So I just have a couple of words to say for today. Thank you to Karen and everyone else who spoke also. We honour and remember today trans and gender diverse people who did not receive the respect and dignity that they should have had in life, and that they may not also get from many people even now. These systems and societies were not created with us in mind. There is often a lack of routes to healthcare, employment, housing, and other basic necessities for us. This discrimination is worse still for trans people of colour, trans feminine people, and disabled trans people, who usually receive the brunt of the hatred and violence. These hostile structures often force many of us into hardship and danger. We want the same respect and access to a fulfilling life as everyone else, and we are no less deserving. Whether we need to alter our bodies or our clothes or the way we are referred to live comfortably and freely, it does not diminish our humanity. It is part of it. I feel an overwhelming ache in my being for those we've lost this year. Especially when I was reading the list, I saw many of the names were very young, only like 11 or 12 years old, who had been killed or killed themselves. And it made me think of my own experience in school, and that I might not be here today if I had succeeded in doing something like that myself. This TDOR, we have the opportunity to remember these people as they truly were, with the respect they deserve, and to continue working and collaborating with others to prevent any more losses in our community. Thank you.
Now we're going to have our candle lighting ceremony when everyone is invited to come up and light a candle on the table. I will bring down tapers, but I'm going to start off by lighting the TENI candle. And this evening I just want to, as we light it, to remember Denise. I don't know how long it's Denise dead now. We're going to light it. I'm going to light it for her. Now, can we have some music while we're doing this?
Champion to make we're always in this together, aren't we?
This year, up until late October, around 25 transgender Americans were murdered, and most of them were killed by the gun. Like many other trans people in America, I don't feel completely safe, even in my local state of Connecticut. Openly gay clubs have been targeted, and there has been a steep rise in right-wing homophobia, transphobia, and hate in general. With all this being said, I'm sure you can understand the biggest factor in my decision to choose where to study abroad was the safety and the acceptance of the LGBTQIA+ community. And based on my personal experience, I'm so grateful I chose to study law in Dublin. I feel safe here. I feel safe physically walking around. I feel safe going to openly gay clubs and bars. And I feel safe talking about my internship at TENI and telling people who never knew about the company what we did. And I'm really grateful to be here. I'm grateful for Ireland, and you all give me hope. So thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm not Jenny. My name's Sam. I can see I'm the chair of the board of directors of TENI, so thank you so much everyone for coming this evening, for the lovely speeches that have happened, and thank you so much, Minister, for your kind words and for being so welcoming, and the Unitarian Church has welcomed us for so many years, and it's so appreciated, so thank you so much. So I kind of wasn't sure if I was going to speak or if I was going to do something else this evening. I would usually sing, I probably will sing, but I just wanted to say thank you first. And I guess thank you so much to Lynda and to Sarah, who's not here today, for so many years of bringing us together as a community. And they've kind of passed the baton on to us as an organisation, and I really hope we can run with that and do the work that's been done justice. It's really lovely today to see such a diverse group of people in this room. I think as we grow as a community and as we come together more as a community, so I think lots of communities were disrupted by COVID, and I think because our community isn't joined by family, but blood a lot of the time, we did grow apart during COVID and the last few years, so I'm excited to see us come together more, and I'm excited to be this amazing intergenerational community that we are. I'm also very conscious that, as Tara said at the start, in Ireland, those who are involved with the community are very white, and so we need to do more work to ensure that there are people of colour in all of our spaces and that they're feeling welcomed, and I just want to intentionally note that this evening. But I was going to, not quite close this off, but to sing. And I'm going to sing the same song as I sang last year. Hopefully I'll remember the lyrics this time, because I think it's a song that most people know. And as with last year, I really appreciated everyone who could join in with me. So I'm going to sing Lean On Me, so everyone should know it. Please feel free to pull up lyrics. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we'll know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need tomorrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem then you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow for. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
When we think of those shocking numbers we spoke of earlier, I just chose this reading, and I think this is our challenge to honour you. I will get up every day and take a breath and start another day, and I will live it to the full. To honour you, I will laugh and love. To honour you, I will take the time to appreciate everyone I love, because I know there are no guarantees of days or hours spent in their presence. To honour you, I will listen to music. I will sing at the top of my lungs with the windows rolled down. To honour you, I will take chances. I will say what I really feel. I will have the courage to be my best self. So every day, I vow to make a difference, to share a smile, to live, to laugh, and to love. And I'll do that to honour those people. So we're coming to the end of our service now, and this is where I am just going to put a little challenge down to us. It was lovely to, I've forgotten who said, it's lovely to see the diversity of people here tonight. But you know what? We're all just human beings. And as I said, we're at our best when we dare to let other people see the beauty of ourselves. Not the pretend self, but the true self. So I want us all to have the courage now just to turn around to the people around you and look at them and smile at them and greet them, shake their hands and wish them well. And then we have a final blessing. The blessing for us before we go. The blessing of peace be upon us. The power of love direct us and sustain us. And may the peace of our community preserve our going out and our coming in from this time forth till we meet again. Amen. I think we're going to have a cup of tea now.
Couldn't see the haunted forest for the trees. Regardless